Hello everyone and welcome to session 3. As this workshop draws to a conclusion, we are excited to spend this time with you today as we move into a more practical side of things. As we recap session 1 and 2, the focus was on becoming aware that how we make people feel creates a perception about us. And secondly, who we become ultimately is more important than what we do. I also want to ask you to keep in mind that we still have a competition running. Some awesome caps to be won, as well as that opportunity to take part in the Strength Finder assessment. So in this session, the focus becomes how do we practically create a branding plan to build our personal brands and make sure that they become successful. So here at Roar, we created an equation that we call the Roar brand equation that we use to help not only individuals but also businesses in developing their brands. But in order for us to do it, we need to quickly just discuss what is a brand comprised out of. So let's get into it. I want you to quickly think, where does a brand start? It starts with an idea. Every brand has an origin. Every brand started somewhere, somehow, as a thought or an idea. The second component in developing a brand is values. Values are also known as foundations. And any big organization, any big life is built on solid foundation. Just think about the highest building in the world. It might look very impressive above the ground, but what actually is really impressive is in the unseen. It is in the foundation of that particular building. And it's the same with us as individuals or brands. The stronger our foundations, the bigger life we can build, the bigger brand we can build. The third component of developing a brand is actions. Now, during the course of this practical workshop, we might not necessarily touch too much on it. But what I do want to say to you is that our values needs to be actioned. It's no use in having strong foundations and they are not evident in what we do. So for instance, if I say that one of my values is respect, it doesn't mean that people must respect me before I respect them. It is exactly the opposite. My value needs to be actioned. So wherever I go, I need to be respectful. Values are something that you add. So you need to add whatever values that you have. You need to add it to the society that you find yourself in. So let's look at the equation of it. You take an idea, you add values to it, and you add actions to that. What would it equate to? In marketing terms, it would equate to brand identity. But for the purpose of this workshop, we are going to call it character. So idea plus values plus actions equals character. And ladies and gentlemen, character is what we are going to be remembered for. So this answers the question, who do we want to be in the future? Is the character that we become. I want to quickly share a second equation with you. If we take an idea, we add values to it, we add actions to it, as well as a character to it, it will ultimately equate to a destiny. We all dream of having a massive, impactful, successful destiny. But to be honest, if the 4 preceding components aren't in place, our destinies might not end up being as big as we initially dreamt of. So to build a successful brand, we need to have a clear idea what the brand is supposed to do. We need to have solid values. We need to action those values, which would turn into a character. And if we consistently apply those components, it would turn into an awesome destiny. Alright, fantastic. Now for the practical side. If you have downloaded the worksheet, great. If you haven't, please do so. So you will see on page 1, there's a space for your name. You know, every brand has a name. And a name actually carries a lot of meaning. Some culture groups in South Africa actually put a lot of effort into naming children. And the weirdest thing, they end up becoming what their name is. So for instance, a friend of mine is called Tabiso. Tabiso means joy bringer. And the crazy thing is, every time he walks into a room, he brings joy to the room. I got handed down a name. So my father's name was Ferdinand, his father's name was Ferdinand, I'm just Ferdi. But there came a time where I said, listen, I want to find out what my name means. And it ended up being the Adventurous One. And the weird thing is, that's exactly who I am. So I want to ask you to please write down your name and the meaning of your name. And if you don't know what the meaning of your name is, please go and find out. Alright, after you've written down your name as well as the meaning for your name, we're going to go on to the next section. You will see on page 1 the idea for my life. So I believe that every brand, yes, you sitting behind the screen, there's a unique idea for your brand, for your life. The question is, how do you get to that place where you find that idea for your life? Most people pursue this idea for a very, very long time, and I myself was in the same boat. But everything started making sense the moment I realized what the idea for my brand is. So this is not necessarily something that I can tell you what it should be. It is something that you need to pursue. What I can tell you though is that it's super important. Just think about it. If you take the idea out of the equation, the character component will be diluted. I'll give you a quick example. Going back to Apple, Apple is now the most successful brand in the world, but it didn't just happen. So Mr. Steve Jobs is the creator of the brand. So when Apple started, they started creating hardware, and that hardware started getting a lot of attraction in the marketplace, which also put them in the radar of major manufacturers at that time, which include Microsoft, IBM, etc. So Mr. Steve Jobs, knowing this, went to his group of directors and he said to them, listen, we need to do research. We need to bring out products that is completely different, unique, etc. But we need to do a lot of research, which will require a lot of money. His group of directors didn't like that. And after persistently asking them to prioritize research in their business, they got fed up and fired him. So what they did was, they fired him out of his own business. But what they didn't realize was that they took away the idea for the business. They took away the idea for the brand. And from that moment on, the brand started declining. The business started declining. From being an up-and-coming, innovative company, they started losing traction within the market. 3 months before bankruptcy, they ran back to Mr. Jobs and said, listen, Steve, we need you to come back. So he said yes, he came back, he fired all of them, and the idea for the brand came back into the business. And today Apple is the most successful brand currently out there. So what am I saying to you? If you don't have the idea for your brand, it is something that you need to pursue wholeheartedly. So people always ask me, but Ferdi, how do I get to that place then? Well, I can direct you. From a personal point of view, this is how I got there. Think about it practically. Steve Jobs is the creator of the brand Apple. So if you and I are brands, surely there must be a creator that has an idea for our particular brands. So I want to encourage you to go and pursue God in this situation. Ask Him what the idea for your brand is. And it's usually not very complicated. The original idea for Mercedes was to create a horseless carriage. So it wasn't anything complicated. Let me quickly tell you what I believe the idea for my brand is to ignite people and to change their thinking. So don't overcomplicate it. There's a specific and unique idea for your brand. Moving on to page 2, we're going to be looking at values. So what I want you to do is I want you to read through the list and select 5 values that resonate with you most. Remember, we're not selecting values because they sound nice. We are selecting values that resonates with you most. So you will read through them and you will see, oh, this is me, this is who I am, etc. Please make sure to only choose 5. So moving on to page 3, you will see at the top of the page, there's a block with the heading, My Character, My Jungle ID. What I want you to do is to think about an animal in the animal kingdom that you associate with. I want you to draw the animal in the block. We are testing your creativity. Right below the block you will see the numbers 1, 2, 3. What I want you to do is is to write 3 characteristics about that animal that you associate with. For instance, I see myself as a lion. Why? Because I believe I'm strong and courageous, as well as I am a king, just like the lion is the king of the jungle. But I want you to think about this. Which animal do you associate with, and give me 3 characteristics about that animal. And then the last section of page 3, it says my future. Remember, we said that every brand has a future. There is a destiny that we are dreaming of when it comes to our particular brands. So what I want you to do is to write the vision for your brand. And I want you to think about it in 2 ways. I want you to think about it in what you become, as well as who you become. So from a personal point of view, I want to become a political and leadership advisor. I want to be an advisor to presidents in the future. That is what I want to become. Who I want to become is I want to become an individual of influence, an individual that serves my community and treats people of all walks of life with equality and fairness. After that, you can move on to the mission component of your future. Remember, a vision is how you see the future. A mission is how you would get to that preferred future. Take a moment to write down the mission component of your brand. Finished? Right. Awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. After completing and taking part in this exercise, you officially have a branding plan. I want to encourage you to keep that plan close to you, to remind yourself continuously not only what the idea for your life is, but also what are you building towards. Alright everyone, that is the end of the practical side of this workshop. One last thing. To end of the competition for this workshop, we want to ask you the following. We want you to create a presentation video clip where you present your brand to the whole world. It will work as follows. You will make use of your cell phone and create a video of not more than 2 minutes. Please make sure when you make the video that the background is clear, as well as no additional background noises. What you're going to be doing is the following. You're going to make use of the worksheet in this presentation and say, "Hi, my name is Ferdi and I am a brand." What you then will do is you will continue through the worksheet, starting with the idea for your life, and you will share the idea for your life with us. Then you're going to move over to the values component, share your 5 values and why they are important to you. Then move over to the character side of things, show us your picture and share the 3 characteristics that you associate with that particular animal. And then lastly, share your vision and your mission with us. The videos should be sent via WhatsApp to this number, and we will have a team that goes through all of them. Some of them might even be used on social media with Roar as well as with Junior Techies, and then select the winners. Like I said, there are caps to be won, as well as the grand prize, which is that Strength Finder assessment. We look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions with regards to the video, please get into contact with us and we'll gladly help you. But it's awesome to have spent this time with you. And again I say, it is your time to roar.